Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down. Now I'd like to take a moment, just sit right there, and I'll tell you all about the time that I snuck out. Ding! Hey everyone, it's Haley. So for those of you who know me, you know that I'm a daredevil freaking rebel.
Yep, that's me.
Just kidding. In all seriousness, I've never really been the kind of kid to like do bad things or whatever, but 9th grade was an entirely different story because the people that I was hanging out with, they were just teetering off their totter. Is that a phrase? I just made it one. So 9th grade, I was friends with these 2 girls, and I happened to be sleeping over at one of the girls' houses, and she was like, hey, I've been sneaking out lately at night to go and hang out with this guy. But it's just been like in my backyard that we've been hanging out. It's not super serious. You should totally come with. And of course, I was like this super nerdy kid, so I was like, oh my gosh. Scandal? Like doing something wrong? What? That's so bad, but so exciting! So before long, after thoroughly convincing me that it wasn't that bad, that these were nice people, that it was just gonna be in her backyard, that it was just gonna be for 5 minutes, I was like, okay, I'll sneak out with you. I was like, oh, it's in her backyard, or whatever, no big deal. Big deal. Big deal indeed. So, we sneak out, and, well, sneak out, literally just go out her back door, and we're sitting around in her backyard, and they're texting her, and they're like, hey, just walk to the end of your street, that's where we are, let's kind of meet closer, because I live far away. And she was like, alright dude, that seems fair. So we walked to the end of her street, and we're like, where are you? And they're like, actually, why don't you meet us like a mile away from one of our friends' houses or whatever. And she was like, okay. And so we're like walking way out of her neighborhood, way in the butthole of nowhere, and I'm like, but it's already way past the point of turning back, and it's like raining, and so we meet them up where they said so or whatever, a mile away from their house, but like 3,000 million miles away from her house, and they're like, hey, I have a good idea, let's just walk back to the house and just chill out. What? But you know, I go along with it anyways because it was late at night, and I watch Criminal Minds, and you should just, no, don't separate from the pack, do not be a lone wolf when you're in that sort of situation. So we end up walking back to his house, and like walking upstairs, and his like family's home, and they're like asleep, and we're like upstairs in their bedroom, and it smells like cigarette smoke, and it was disgusting. And he's like, hey, do you want like Sprite, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. And I'm just like looking at this kid like dumbfounded, like, Sprite? Now is not the time for your juvenile soda. We just snuck out, we're gonna go to jail, I'm gonna die. No. Sprite? No, the answer is no. And so after a while, he's like, hey, you know, let's go into this other room, like the den or whatever, so we can just chill out and be more comfortable and blah blah blah. So we get to the den, and I forgot to mention, but it was the 2 guys and then me and my gal pal. Did I really just say gal pal? Alright, I'm a middle-aged mom. Okay, glad we got that settled. So we're standing there, and he handed her a, it's on the screen somewhere. And I know what you're thinking, you're like, whoa, it's not even that big of a deal, but you gotta think of this not from your perspective, not from my perspective, but from my 14-year-old self perspective. I was like this, like, straight A's, like, great student, never did anything wrong, and I was expecting to literally just sit in the freaking grass in her backyard, and here we are in some stranger's house, and him handing that unholy thing to her, and I was freaking out. And so by this point, I had already been telling her, I was like, girl, we got to go. Like, are you with me? Are we going? She's just like, don't worry about her, guys. It's her first time sneaking out. And so she's just flat out not listening to me at all, and I was like, fine, I'm just gonna go. And so I left. I was the lone wolf that I told all of you not to be. I just left, and I ran out in the middle of the night, and they're like, oh, whatever. They thought I was just bluffing and everything. So I literally just, I walked, and I walked, and I walked. And then I was like, not a good idea. So I tried to walk back, but then I couldn't find my way back. And apparently they were calling for me, and she had dropped her phone, or it was dead or something, but they couldn't find me. And then I get to this one spot, and I was like, this is where we have to go to my house. no, I can't go home. Like, I was sleeping over there. What would my parents think if I came home in the middle of the night? So I go and I try like the little path. It didn't work out, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. It was raining. I was cold. It was like way past midnight, and I almost got hit by a car. And I ended up going home, and then like everything worked out, and she got super grounded, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, that is my story for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and leave me a comment letting me know what you think. I make videos every Sunday and Thursday, so stay tuned if you want more of these storytime videos, and I will see you all later.